Pupils love to engage with digital quizzes in the classroom in a range of different formats. But for teachers, that can be quite time consuming to create, increasing your workload. So, how do we overcome this? With the power and use of AI tools. Hey, it's Paul here from RoarTech. Welcome back to another EdTech video from the EdTech Vault. This is part two of using AI tools to create digital quizzes for the classroom. Up first is Brisk Teaching. This is a platform that has a plethora of tools for you to explore, but for today's purpose, we'll just focus on their quiz tool in creating those quizzes for your classroom. Let's dive straight in and have a look.
The first thing we need to do is not actually go to the Brisk Teaching website because we're going to be using the Chrome extension tool to make all of our quizzes. So first thing is first, make sure that you are using the Chrome web browser and then search for the Chrome Web Store. It's our top option here. And then in the search box at the top, search for Brisk Teaching. There it is, top option. And then go ahead and click on Add to Chrome. And then when prompted, click on Add Extension. This will then push you to the Brisk Teaching website, inviting you to go ahead and create an account. Once you've created your account and you're logged in, the next thing to do is head to the top right-hand side here, where we store and can access all of our Chrome extensions. You can see I've already got quite a few that I use quite regularly. Go ahead and click on the jigsaw piece, look for Brisk Teaching, and go ahead and pin that to the toolbar so we've got easy access to it to go ahead and create our quizzes. The first case use could be that pupils in class are doing some research on a website and you want to quiz them on what they've learned. I've just come to the Newsround website as an example and found a really good article that could be linked to a space topic. It's a story around NASA revealing an unusual plan to build glass homes for astronauts on the moon. Very cool. So the first thing we would do is click on the Brisk Teaching Chrome extension tool here, and then it will load the logo at the bottom here. Sometimes that's hard to find against darker backgrounds. Here it is, click on it. It's no surprise to see they're trying to invite you to go to the pro paid version, but for now we're going to stick on the free version. So click on the X and then open it up again. And then notice how it realizes we're on a web page. Brilliant. Let's create our first quiz. And then what I'm going to do is actually create a really nice comprehension piece that children could have a go in their exercise books. I can click on create, or I can go straight to quiz at the bottom. For now, though, I'll go on to create and then go on to quiz. Just bring it down a bit so you can see it. Click on next. And then here's the parameters we need to change. Right to quiz, British English. I'm going to use the standard AI because we're not paying for the pro version. I am going to push it out as a Word document so I can print that off and give it to the children to do in their exercise books as a comprehension exercise. Because it already knows we're in a web page, it says create a quiz about this web page. The prompt is already there. The instructions there to build the quiz. Perfect. I'm not in year 6, but I am in year 5. I'm going to create not multiple choice questions, but short response, and then just 5 questions. Once we're happy with that, we click on Brisket to then open a new tab, and it will generate those comprehension questions for us, or sorry, just questions in general. The nice thing is once it's finished, it does ask me, is there anything that you want to change? So I can put some more instructions in as a prompt. I can translate it. I can make it more or less difficult, make it shorter or longer, which is lovely. So I can make those changes if I need to. Let's go and have a quick look at it and see what it looks like. I can also make changes on this document as well because we're not in America. We're not using grades. We are in year 5. So I can just make some changes there and say year 5. As I go down the questions, I can check them. Really nice here. Explain question. We've got describe at least 2 advantages. Lovely. A compare question. Very nice. List at least 3 environmental conditions to consider. And again, it's not enough space. I can just make those changes within the document as I am here as well, which is really nice. So I can, before I even export it, make the changes on this web page here. Once I'm happy with it created, I can then go and click on the right-hand side here and save it as a Word document or a PDF to access and then print off. or I can save it to my OneDrive, which a lot of you might be using as well. Another case use might be the children watching a video and then you quizzing them on what they've just watched. Here I am in YouTube and I found a really nice video about the gunpowder plot. Very apt, seeing as at the time of recording, it's not far off from November. Once again, I can click on the Brisk tool to load it and then just try and find it amongst the background here. Here it is, let's bring it over. Let's click on the Brisk tool. Once again, it realizes, unlike before when it was a web page, it realizes now that we're in a YouTube video. Perfect. Let's follow the same format. Let's go to create. Let's go to quiz. Click on next. And then this time, rather than doing a Word document, I'm going to push it out as a Google form quiz. So this time I'm going to say, create a quiz about this YouTube video. I'm going to do it for my, not year fives, but I'm going to do year four. I'm going to do multiple choice, and then I'm going to do 8 questions. Once I'm happy, I'm going to click on Brisket. And here it is generating the quiz because I'm logged into my Google account. So it's all linked to my Google Forms, which is brilliant. And here it all is. I might do some changes. So rather than 3rd grade again, I might change that for, year 4 or something like that. And then go down and just check all the answers are there. With anything with AI produced content, always go and check it before we use it. Looking down, very, very good. Do you know what? I don't even know how many barrels of gunpowder we're hidden. 36. Well, there you go. I've learned something new today. Looks brilliant. So now I can send that quiz out to my children in my class, either maybe through Teams, Google Classroom, Seesaw, whatever platform you're using, and they'll be engaged to have a go at that quiz based on a video maybe we've watched in class. Another use might be that you've got some content within a Google Doc that you want to quiz the children on as well. Here, as an example, I've got the opening chapter of Letters from the Lighthouse from the wonderful book by Emma Carroll, a book I used to always use with my year sixes for when we were studying the topic of World War II. This is quite a long document, it's 17 pages, but I want to make sure that I do a quiz on all of this content to make sure children have understood what they've read. So once again, I click on the Brisk tool to load it up. Click on the icon. Go ahead and click on create. Click on quiz. Next. And then I'm going to do a Google form quiz again. And this time I'm going to say create a quiz, not about this web page, but create a quiz about this document, because it's quite a big document. I am in year 6, like I said, for my year 6s on my World War II topic, multiple choice, and let's go for 10 questions. Once I'm happy with those parameters, I can go ahead and brisk it. And also notice again, at the top, it realized we're on a Google Doc. It's all integrated within the Google workspace there, so it can pull through from my Google Doc into my Google Forms and create that quiz for me. Perfect. Let's brisk it. And once again, you can see it's generating that quiz for me. I'm just going to go down and check and make sure that it has pulled questions from all of that chapter. I know the chapter very well, so I just want to make sure that it has covered everything in that chapter, not just the first page or whatever like that. Yeah, brilliant. So we've got all the questions there from that document, which is perfect. Again, I would check it over, change some settings maybe, and then push that out to my children to have a go. There might be occasions when you haven't got the content on Google Doc, but it's on a Microsoft Word document or even a PDF. So I can still access that to create a quiz. Here's how. I'm going to use this Google Doc space to load the Brisk teaching tool. But this time, rather than going to create, I want to attach that PDF or that Word document. So I'm going to click on the little paperclip icon and then choose the source, whether it's a PDF or a Microsoft Word document. I'm going to click on PDF and then find that file. So then go ahead and look for your file within your directory and open it up. And it will open it as a new tab. You can see I can't quite use it right now because I've run out of my free usage on the free version. But notice how it has created a file, and I can just in the same method go to create a Word document quiz or a Google form quiz and push that out to my children as well. So absolutely perfect.
Next up is Quiz the Class. I came across this in one of the AI Facebook groups. So shout out to Sebastian for sharing this. Let's dive straight in and have a look. How do we create quizzes and then use the tool for the classroom?
And here is Quiz the Class. You've got some clear instructions on the right-hand side here to copy and paste this prompt into ChatGPT or another AI chat to go ahead and create those questions. You in school might be having access to something like Google Gemini or Microsoft Copilot. That's absolutely fine. It says, remember to change the number of questions, the topic, and the level. And it gives us a really nice primary school example here, 15 questions about planets in the solar system for primary school might be a good example. Once you've got that quiz, it says paste the output into the box on the left here to build our quiz. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead at the bottom here and I'm going to copy that prompt and I'm going to go ahead and use ChatGPT and I'm going to paste in that prompt. But as it said, change the topic, the number of questions that we need. So let's stick with 20 questions. Create 20 questions about why the Vikings settled in Britain for a year 5 primary school class in the UK that follows this structure. Let's go ahead and run that prompt. And here we go, starting to generate our questions. Let's leave that for a moment while it generates all those questions for us. Perfect. It's now finished creating all those questions for us. Let's go ahead and copy the code, head back to the website, and as instructed to, paste the questions into the left-hand side box and go ahead and create our teams. We can have up to 5 teams, as you can see, with us needing at least a minimum of 2 teams. So this is where you get the children into small groups and then name their groups. I'm just going to use colors, but I'm sure you can come up with something far more creative than that. And then once we've got all of our team names, we can go ahead and start the quiz. And the idea is, as you can see along the bottom, we've got all the different team names and we know which turn it is because it's got the pink border around it. You can imagine in class, you've probably got them in groups and you've got a captain within the group that's going to shout the answer out. So they would pick a number. There would be 4 questions on the screen. They shout the right answer out and the teacher on the interactive whiteboard will select the answer that they've given. Let's have a little look and see what happens. Let's select question 10. And so the children would read the question and then shout the answer out from the captain. You can see the time is counting down. So they've got 20 seconds per question to answer. Once they answer the question, if they get it right, you can see they get 100 points. And it's now moved on to the next team. They choose their question. If they get it wrong, you can see it tells them they're wrong and they get no points and it kind of moves on. My only gripe is I think it would be better if once we've answered the question, that stayed on the screen a little bit longer. So we can talk about why it was the right answer, or if the children got it wrong, we can discuss what the right answer was and why it was the right answer as well. So that would be something maybe to tweak. The person making this could tweak that for us. That would be fantastic. So that's really good, isn't it? So we've got 20 questions there, 5 teams, 4 questions each to assess their learning. I quite like this for those schools who haven't got those one-to-one or even one between to do 2 devices, because a lot of those other quizzing platforms like Kahoot and Blockit, they're kind of more geared towards those one-to-one devices, one between 2 devices. At least with this, we don't really need any devices. We can have this on the main interactive whiteboard in the classroom. All the children are in their groups and they, shouting the answers out, being engaged, having a lot of fun, and we're assessing their learning. So a big thank you to Sebastian for sharing that. A very, very cool tool that we can use. And notice how we used ChatGPT there to create those questions for us in minutes to get this going and get this live in the classroom. A really good tool. So thank you very much for that.
Brisk teaching is clearly a nice idea, being able to create quizzes nice and quickly from that Chrome extension tool. However, I came across a few issues. There were times when I tried to create a Google form quiz, either on a YouTube video or a Google Doc or even a PDF file, but it kept telling me to sign in when I already was. And there were other times when I just couldn't use the tool I'd run out of my free usage and had to wait a certain amount of time, or there was heavy traffic on the system. That's not great for teachers in their PPA time looking to use this tool quickly to create quizzes. I do hope those people who pay for the pro version don't come across these issues as well. It's something for Brisk teaching to have a look at. With Quiz to Class, a brilliant free tool. My only slight gripe is it doesn't stay on the screen long enough to show you what the correct answer was if the children got it wrong. But apart from that, a really great free tool. Many thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. I hope you found this useful. As always, before you go, if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe to keep up to date with all of our content. We'll see you next time.